Thanks for joining us here on KGW Plus. I'm Stephanie Domerat. Chris McGinnis will have a look at your weather in just a moment. First, let's get you caught up on today's top stories. A legal fight is now underway over Oregon's transportation funding. The dispute centers on Senate Bill 1599 and whether voters should weigh in on this May or in November on transportation package. Earlier this week, Democrats successfully shifted the vote to May. Republicans who filed the lawsuit in Marion County argue more than 250,000 Oregonians signed a petition expecting the issue to appear on the November ballot. They claim moving it changes the rules after the referendum had already qualified. The governor's office told KGW it does not comment on pending litigation. Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups is back in court after being arrested on charges connected to rigged poker games. New court documents show federal prosecutors plan to offer plea deals to 12 of the 31 defendants in this case. It's unclear if they'll offer that to Billups. Back in October, the FBI alleged Billups took part in rigged poker games run by New York mafia families, where players reportedly used X-ray equipment and card shuffling machines to cheat. A three-day hearing is expected to wrap up this afternoon on whether or not to extend a temporary order limiting the use of tear gas and other less lethal munitions at Portland's ICE building. It's part of a lawsuit brought by a group of protesters who argue that the tactics federal agents used violated their First Amendment rights. The Justice Department argues the tactics were used to disperse violent protesters, which is not barred by the Constitution. Once arguments are made, a judge will decide whether to issue a longer-lasting preliminary injunction, limiting the use of tear gas outside the facility. New today, Portland Public Schools is reversing a decision to close an alternative high school. Last month, the school district abruptly announced it was closing the high school at Metropolitan Learning Center due to budget cuts. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has the details.
In a letter to families and staff, Portland Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Armstrong says she's reversing course and now wants to expand the high school here at MLC. High schoolers at MLC, some had already chosen different schools to attend next year, though Armstrong says they can backtrack and stay here at MLC if they'd like to. This year, 41 high schoolers are enrolled at the K-12 school. And here, high school works a little bit differently. They have internships connected to their education. And here's the thing. Armstrong says the school needs to enroll just 30 freshman students this fall and in future years to stay afloat. PPS also wants to remove enrollment barriers and showcase MLC more often to the community so parents are aware of the school's offerings. Portland Public also plans to have more open house events and community outreach at the school too. But here's the thing, Portland Public Schools is facing a $50 million budget deficit for next school year. Superintendent Kimberly Armstrong has said that closing schools may be a way to fix some of that deficit, though with MLC, the high school staying open here, big questions remain about what that means for other schools within Portland Public. In Northwest Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Oregon lawmakers have passed a bill meant to address chronic absenteeism in schools. House Bill 4154 calls for more detailed and frequent data reporting on school absences. Oregon has one of the worst absentee rates in the country, and supporters say better data will help the state figure out what's causing so many kids to miss school. Under this legislation, lawmakers say the data on absences would be broken down quarterly and not just once a year.
That helps to make sure that we are, even mid-year, getting reports on how we're doing, and we're able to adjust mid-school year our tactics, our policies.
Just more people knowing about this issue that we're having in our state. I think like once we start bringing this up more in conversation and stuff, like students will be able to create initiatives, more public policies.
Supporters of the bill say this is just the first step in making improvements. It now heads to Governor Kotek's desk for her signature. Taking a live look now at Timberline, where the much needed snow has been falling all day long. Quite socked in there, though, on the mountain. Let's turn over to Chris McGinnis with a look at your weather now.
Yeah, and this snow level's lowering. We had just plain rain at the Cascade Passes earlier this morning. This is a live look at Government Camp. Of course, as we say that, it's kind of tough to see the snowflakes, but it is snowing, and it's also quite breezy there as those snow levels continue to lower. Be aware of that if you're traveling up and over the Cascade Passes. All right, down low, the lion's share of the rain, the steady rain that we've had this morning, is tapering off, and it's being replaced with on and off showers. So we'll get wet, we'll get a break, we'll get wet, we'll get a break, rinse, wash, and repeat and that's what radar shows here over the last 3 hours. We'll zoom in. Pretty good cell now, working its way through Lake Oswego and heading east towards Clackamas. So you're getting a pretty good soaking right now. Out to the west, out towards Aloha, and then south and west towards Shoals and Farmington. This is out in south of Beaverton, west of Beaverton. Again, some pretty good showers there. These are quick hitters. You get rained on for 10 minutes and then you get a dry break. There is a dry break right now from the Springs at the waterfront camera in Vancouver. Currently 52 degrees with a light southwest breeze there. Got some, actually I think you should look off to the south here. You can see some of those raindrops from our Wells Fargo sky camera. That's the shower that I showed you passing just to the east of Lake Oswego now. 51 last check at the airport, and the plan for the rest of the day, on and off showers and sun breaks with temperatures in the low 50s. Rain will start to diminish later tonight and for the first part of tomorrow. I'll show you that with the 7-day forecast in just a few.
Okay, we'll see you then, Chris. Thank you. Now to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. The U.S. Department of War has released the identities of 4 Army Reserve soldiers who were killed in the U.S. strikes on Iran. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Fresh strikes across the Middle East as Israel fires on Tehran and Iranian-backed militants in Lebanon. Iranian forces unleashing attacks on Gulf countries. And in closed-door briefings, top Trump officials telling lawmakers to expect a bigger, overwhelming wave of strikes against Iran in the coming days. Pentagon leaders weighing in this morning.
We have only just begun to hunt, dismantle, demoralize, destroy, and defeat their capabilities.
They mourned 4 U.S. Army Reserve soldiers killed in a drone strike in Kuwait, now identified as Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Noah Tegens, Sergeant First Class Nicole Amore, and Sergeant Declan Cody. All as the Trump administration is pushing back against accusations that the U.S. was dragged into war by Israel. The president pointing to a breakdown in nuclear talks with Iran.
Based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first, and I didn't want that to happen.
On Monday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. faced an imminent threat because Israel was about to attack Iran, and Iran would have then hit U.S. forces. On Tuesday, he clarified that was a question of timing, not intent.
Once the president made a decision that negotiations were not going to work, that they were playing us on the negotiations, and that this was a threat that was untenable, the decision was made to strike them.
Democrats saying the administration's justifications aren't good enough.
There were a lot of references to the 47 years of Iran being a problem. That is not imminent. That is in the past.
Republicans largely standing with the White House. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Turning to your other national headlines now, a TikTok creator will pay a University of Idaho professor $10 million for wrongfully accusing her of killing 4 students. An Idaho jury ruled in favor of Professor Rebecca Schofield. Ashley Gillard accused Schofield of the 2022 Idaho murders on her TikTok account, which was seen by millions of people. She filed the lawsuit when Gillard didn't take down the video. Schofield claims it damaged her reputation and caused her distress. Brian Koberger admitted to those murders and is now serving a life sentence in prison. Good news for those planning for retirement. The average 401k balance rose by 11% in 2025. That's according to Fidelity Investments. So this is the 3rd straight year that the average retirement account saw a double-digit hike. Analysts say the strong showing comes from consistent saving habits by participants, as well as overall market performance. The findings were based on nearly 25 million accounts.
It's awesome just walking around school, seeing people reading the newspaper, laughing at it with their friends, doing the crossword on the back.
After more than a decade off the shelves, a group of high school journalists are breathing new life into their school paper. We're back in 2 minutes.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Newspapers might be in decline around the country, but a student-run paper has been brought back to life at a local high school. There's been 1,000 free copies made and more expected to be shared with nearby businesses. Celine Stevens spoke with the students behind this.
Student journalism has made its comeback here at Benson Polytechnic High School with the Benson Orbit, and inside this room is where all the magic happens.
Kids are eager for a chance to speak about how the world is.
Sometimes a good old-fashioned newspaper
Would any of you like a copy of the newspaper?
is the new thing needed to bring a student body together.
I was walking around this morning handing out newspapers, and like people were coming up to me preemptively being like, can I get a copy of the newspaper? Like the word got out so quickly, and it's just really awesome to see our community come together.
The Benson Orbit's first print edition is now circulating the high school's halls, the first newspaper to do so in about 16 years.
Tech Pep, our previous newspaper, started in 1920, ran to 2010, and then with district budget cuts, it closed, but we're back now. We're back from the dead.
Nick Otis is one of the student editors of the paper. He and other students like Zara Faruqi say having this outlet is crucial for amplifying student voices.
It feels really good. I've done a lot of things and nothing really compares to this. It feels so good to start something up, and it feels so good to bring something up that's going to hopefully continue here for years.
The Benson Orbit started last school year as an after-school club with only an online presence, spearheaded by a couple teachers.
My colleague and I, Miss Miko, were like, we need a journalism program here, and we just sort of put it out there, and a group of about 5 kids last year picked it up and just ran with it.
That club has now turned into a class filled with nearly 20 students.
It's not real until it's on pulp, I think, for them. And so they were really pushing for the print edition. Even though it feels sort of old-fashioned, I think it's actually one of the places where journalism really finds its heart.
And while the content can range,
sometimes those are silly pieces about how bad the school lunch is or whatever, and sometimes it's about going to one of the many school protests.
The hope is that the class can continue to grow and students continue to make their voices heard, one copy at a time.
If there's an unknown in our school, I want to find out the answer. And I think the best way to do that is through student journalism.
I think that having an outlet like this is super important for ensuring that students get their voice out.
In Northeast Portland, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
There's just something of holding it in your hand, right? And that fresh smell of fresh newspaper. All right, it's going to be soggy newspapers right now over in Clackamas County. We've got a heavy shower now passing from Milwaukee east to Clackamas. That cell racing eastward. We're going to be peppered with these on and off for the rest of this afternoon. I've got your forecast after the break.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
All right, it still feels like winter out there today.
After all,
yeah,
we still have a few more days to go. I mean, meteorological spring was what? Sunday. Actual spring is Friday the 20th, so we
still some time.
Yeah, and we're going to add some snow to the Cascades, by the way. We showed you some cool shots from Timberline a few minutes ago. Let's bring it back down low where we are getting peppered with frequent showers, and it's possible that we hear a rumble of thunder here over the next little while, not only in the Willamette Valley, but at the coast as well. Here's one of those pretty good cells that's working through Clackamas and Clackamas County. We've got some other showers over towards Garden Home and just south of Beaverton and Aloha. And again, it's kind of rinse, wash, and repeat this afternoon. So the rain tapers to occasional showers, and what that means is the steady rain's over, but we're not done with the rain. We'll get a shower and then a break and then a shower and then a break, etc. Cascade snow levels are lowering. They started up around Timberline, and they have been lowering steadily throughout the day, down to as low as maybe 2,500 feet overnight tonight. My 7-day forecast, you're going to see a number of raindrops throughout the 7-day forecast, but no one day looks overly wet minus today. Today is certainly the wettest day of the next several. Not only that, but I mentioned the possibility of a rumble of thunder. The Storm Prediction Center does highlight most of the state of Oregon, in fact, the entire state, with at least the slight potential of some thunder. We've got cold air coming in aloft with this latest weather disturbance, and one of the ways you can tell that is by the speckly natures of the clouds here. Even though the Pacific is not warm, the temperature difference between the air coming in aloft and the ocean water allows for these really puffy cumulus clouds to pop up. And so that gives you an idea that the atmosphere is buoyant, right? We've got some lift out there. We may very well hear a rumble of thunder in some cases, especially at the coast, I think, as we go through the day today, as that cold air continues to work its way in. All right, here's Futurecast into the afternoon. Again, on and off showers, a break and then a shower, then a break and then a shower, and that's the way it goes here into early tomorrow morning. Our modeling does like the I-5 corridor drying out at least temporarily tomorrow morning. So maybe the morning commute will be dry-ish, but the shower machine gets going again with that cold air aloft Thursday afternoon. Another break early Friday, and then we get a glancing blow from a system Friday evening into early Saturdays. And no one of these systems looks overwhelmingly wet. Futurecast between today and tomorrow only measures another 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rain. Unless you happen to get a thunderstorm, that would quickly put down that type of rainfall in about 30 minutes. So outside of that, the general rainfall pattern is not terribly heavy. But boy, the snow's going up at Timberline Lodge, right? The temperature here has dropped a few degrees, and in fact, the snow level is now down to the Cascade Passes where it's quite breezy at Government Camp. We do have winter weather advisories south of Mount Hood through the day tomorrow. Additional snowfall up there, maybe the order of 6 to 8 inches at the Cascade Ski Resorts, more if we get repeated snow showers. Down low, it's rained. It's 51 in Beaverton and Portland and Salem right now. And the plan for the afternoon shows that, look, in fact, if you look off in the distance, you can see what looks like maybe some low thunder shower heads forming there along with the blue sky. So it could be kind of an interesting afternoon as temperatures hold steady or slowly drop from the low 50s. Our 7-day forecast, 50 degrees with a few showers tomorrow. Possibility of some light rain on Friday. Again, no one of those days beyond today looks overwhelmingly wet. And a reminder, this weekend is Spring Forward weekend, which means we gain the extra hour of daylight in the evening, but we lose the hour of sleep.
Oh, some of us are a little grumpy about that.
Yeah, no, maybe. Not me.
Some of us.
Maybe a little.
Thanks, Chris. Well, still ahead, a local group of elementary students standing a little taller this afternoon. A local nonprofit putting them in a new pair of shoes. We'll be right back.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
How awesome is it to have a brand new cool pair of shoes?
Like, totally awesome.
All right, you heard it, totally awesome. It was a totally awesome day for kiddos at James John Elementary School who got some brand new shoes from the nonprofit Souls for Souls. Now, their main goal is to give new shoes to students experiencing homelessness. But yesterday, every student in attendance got a pair.
It was hard choosing out a pair of shoes, but I finally found a pair of shoes that were just my type.
The Souls for Souls has been around for 20 years, donating more than 116 million pairs of shoes and pieces of clothing to kids across the country. Well, the KGW Great Food Drive is going on right now, and we need your help to provide 1.2 million meals to local people and families. The Oregon Food Bank distributes food to 21 regional food banks and more than 1,000 partners in Oregon and Southwest Washington. And one easy way you can help out is while you shop. You can make a donation at your checkout of a local Safeway store. And all week long, Rivermark Community Credit Union will match the first $5,000 donated. And more information on all the ways that you can help, you can just go to our website at kgw.com/food drive. We want to thank local Toyota dealers, Pacific Office Automation, Rivermark Credit Union, and Safeway for supporting this year's food drive. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Well, the Portland Thorns are welcoming in a new head coach. Robert Villaham is coming from England, where he was a head coach of the Tottenham Hotspurs from 2023 to 2025. He also has his own soccer academy in Uganda. And while he's still waiting for his visa to be approved, Villaham says he is excited to be joining the Thorns in Portland. The 2026 season opener is on March 13th against the Washington Spirit.
Okay,
Coming up here just next Friday.
That would be a 10-day forecast. I don't know, a 9-day forecast.
Well, some people, I mean,
some people do a 9-day forecast. Let me check my app. Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Hey, I want to show you something cool. This is our Vancouver waterfront camera. I mean,
it's pretty.
It's pretty. Stormy, pretty.
I think
don't
it's
know.
pretty.
It is.
Blue skies.
It is. There's some blue sky, and if you see blue sky, you might very well hear a rumble of thunder within the next half an hour.
Oh,
so
wow.
just be aware of that. Yeah, we've got a showery afternoon. Temperatures holding steady in the low 50s the rest of this afternoon.
All right, Chris, thank you. And a reminder, we've added more live news to the lineup. You can tune in 7 to 9 for sunrise and at 5:30. We'll see you back here today at 4 o'clock. Have a great day.